say you're sorry.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening, everyone. So we Zoom for preparing our presentation to class next week. Yang mana kami akan mempresentasikan materi pada bagian 1 IPS, yaitu tentang literary text. Sebelumnya saya izinkan memperkenalkan teman-teman saya. Yang mana next ada saya sendiri, Ramadhanti Pertiwi. Sebelahnya ada, silakan.
Nadhira Kanahaya.
Saya Novia Salsabila.
Saya Puput Arini.
Saya Rilla, Rahma, Mulyani.
Oke, next. Materi pertama, kami akan menjelaskan what is literary text yang akan dijelaskan oleh Puput Arini. Pada Puput disilahkan.
What is literary text? Literary text is a piece of writing such as a book or poem that has the purpose of telling a story or entertaining, as in fictional novel. Its primary function as a text is usually aesthetic, but it might also containing potential message or belief.
Selanjutnya, ada macam-macam jenis literary text dan perbedaannya. Yang pertama adalah puisi. Apa itu puisi? Poetry is a literary work in which special intensity is given to the expression of feelings and ideas by the use of distinctive style and rhythm, forms collectively or as genre of literature. Next.
Drama is definition as a form of performance that involves conflict, emotion, and the portrayal of human experience through a dialogue and action. Next.
And last, phrase, a small group of words standing together as a conceptual unit, typically forming a component of a clause. Selanjutnya, ada materi kedua yang akan dijelaskan oleh teman saya, Novia Salsabila dan Rilla Rahmayani. Pada mereka disilakan.
So, what is poem? A poem is a form of literary art that expresses feelings, ideas, or experience through rich, rhythmic, and imaginative language. Poetry often employs figurative language, rhythmic patterns, and careful word choice to create an aesthetic and profound experience for the reader. It can take various forms, including lyric, narrative, elegy, or free verse. The interpretation and expression of poetry are subjective and can vary widely among individuals. Next, Indonesia-nya.
Oke. Selanjutnya, apa itu puisi? Puisi adalah bentuk seni sastra yang mengungkapkan perasaan, gagasan, atau pengalaman dengan menggunakan bahasa yang kaya, ritmis, dan imajinatif. Puisi seringkali memanfaatkan gaya bahasa, struktur berirama, serta pemilihan kata yang cermat untuk menciptakan pengalaman estetis dan mendalam bagi pembacanya.
Kelompok selanjutnya Naya sama Rehan.
Okay, the next material is the process of production and reproduction of literary works of poetry. The process of creating poetry. First, determine the theme and title because they are the base for writing poetry. When choosing a title, make sure the title match the theme. Second, create poetry based on element. The elements of poetry themselves are divided into mental element and physical element. Inner element include them, feeling, tone, and atmosphere, as well as message. Meanwhile, physical element include typography, imagery, figure of speech, and verification. Third, develop poetry as beautifully as possible into the complete poem. Make sure your poetry is concise and meaningful. The Indonesian version by Rehan.
The process of remaking a poem. First, understand the purpose and content of the poem so that it is easy to change the lyric of the poem that will be rewritten. Take important ideas from the poem. The ideas taken can be element contained in the poem that will be rewritten. Third, start rewriting by modifying existing ideas. If you have difficulty modifying poetry, you can use synonym. Then you can also change the word layout. For check that the rewritten poem has no writing error or error in word usage so that the poem you write is pleasant to read, both in terms of word order and writing. Okay, the process of production and reproduction of literary works of poetry. First, the process of creating poetry. First, determine the theme and title because they are the best thing. Best in the is for writing poetry. When choosing a title, make sure the title use match them. Second, create poetry based on elements. The elements of poetry themselves are divided into mental elements and physical elements. Inner element include the feeling, tone, and atmosphere, as well as message. Meanwhile, physical elements include typography, imagery, figure of speech, and verification. Third, develop portrait as beautifully as possible into one complete poem. Make sure your portrait is concise and meaningful. Next, will be presented by Nadhira Kanahaya.
Okay, I will present about production and reproduction process of the poem Hujan Bulan Juni by Sapardi Djoko Damono. Production process. The production of the poem Hujan Bulan Juni was motivated by Sapardi experience while in Jogja and Solo. At the time, he always experienced dry June, so he was inspired to write this poem. Reproduction process. Based on the previous explanation, reproducing a poem requires idea or important element from a poem. The poem Rain in Hujan Bulan Juni has an inner structure, namely one, theme, love that cannot be conveyed and chooses to remain silent. Second, containing feeling of sadness and about the sincerity of love. Third, tone and atmosphere using a soft tone but with calm emotion. Four, mean that regarding the qualities of fortitude, wisdom that every human being must have, even if it is not in accordance with what is desired. Also, the physical structure, namely one, typography arranged using left arrangement with a total of 3 stanza, each stanza containing of 4 lines. Second, imagery using visual image and the listener imagination. Third, figure of speech using personification figure of speech. And the last one is a verification using a written pattern that reads A-I-A-U, A-I-A-U, I-I-A-U. So here's the poem recreated by Hujan Bulan Juni, and Rehan will be present the poem.
The following is recreated poem based on the idea of the poem June Rain. On the full moon night, the rain falls softly, touching the earth with his gentle cares. And the dim light memories float, framing silent, waving nostalgia. Raindrops are like melodic flutes, walking down the silent corridor of the heart. Among the wet leaves, love stories are enraged in silence. The full moon witnessed the secret of the light, saving untold stories. On the edge of the window, a longing shadow dance, merging with silence, seducing peaceful longing. In the sea of wet earth, angel with happiness that was once forgotten. June rain, like eternal poetry, storing memories and the bitterness of singing. In the noise, there are a seductive silence, seducing the soul to dream in the embrace of time until morning appears in the rain. But the memories will remain eternal is the wake. Original pop in English. There is nothing more steadfast from the June rain. He kept his longings a secret to that flowering tree. No one is the wiser from the June rain. His footprints were erased. Those who are doubtful on that road, there is no one wiser from the June rain. He left in unsaid, absorbed by the roots of the flower tree. Thank you.
So that's all from my material. My friend already finished the presentation. I hope you can get the point. Because this is just practice, we will try the best in the presentation next week. So sorry for so many mistakes in this Zoom. Thank you.
Motherfucking designer